So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 72 of our F1 Manager Save and our third race as team principal of Ferrari. If you didn't catch the last episode in Jeddah, go back and watch it. It was an exciting finale as Lando Norris claimed his second win in 2 races and obviously he now topped the Drivers' Championship. Mick Schumacher did get a point. Mick Schumacher is struggling for pace. We can see this early doors. He's not in the same class as Lando Norris, but it is working for the sponsors, so we're quite happy with that at this moment in time. Quick news on the car. We've had a development come in. We've had a new front wing installed on the car for this weekend, and as you can see, that's quite a big difference from the old one that you can see on the right hand side of that chart. We are improving the car already, and this should help in a lot of areas as we go to Australia. And Australia is next up, the Albert Park circuit, 58 laps round here. Expected strategy is a 1-stop from medium onto hards. A 2-stop may be applicable. If I remember rightly, we did have a few safety cars round here last year, so we will have to be adaptable as always. And just to put you in the picture with the standings as well, we are currently sat top of the constructors standings on 62 points. Lando Norris really is the man that's doing the job for us in that respect, and Lando Norris is doing the job as well in the drivers' standings, currently on 50 points. Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez was fantastic in the last episode, and Carlos Sainz in the Aston Martin doing very well as well. The McLarens, the Red Bulls, the Aston Martins all up there, as you can see in the constructors. So it's been a tight battle so far, and I think that's only going to continue as we get through the rest of this season. So I'm going to get through practice now, and we'll see you in qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Melbourne for a weekend of fierce competition. We're a stone's throw from the beach here at the Albert Park circuit. It might be party mood in the grandstands, but in the paddock, expectations and tensions are high. The Albert Park circuit is bursting with rapid corners and a long straight where drivers can push their speed to the limits. Good attention to medium speed downforce will likely make beating this beast of a track just a little bit easier. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Let the weekend begin!
Mick Schumacher can just not make it out of Q2. 11th, it were a better performance from him, but again, we're only going to have one driver in Q3. And if we have a quick look at it, Lando Norris, he's not far from pole position. He's only about a 10th away from the Red Bulls, so it's going to be a really spicy battle for pole position. But again, we only have one car to manage in Q3, but let's see how Lando gets on in his fight for pole. This is it then, final 2 corners in Q3. We went out on a scrub set of soft compound tyres on our first run. Max Verstappen currently on provisional pole. Lando Norris is green through the first sector, yellow through the second. Charles Leclerc, it's a battle with the Red Bulls. It has been all weekend so far. Lando Norris up to the line, and he's going to go P3, so only good enough for P3. Whether Magnussen can take that away from him, but again, 1/10 and a half off Verstappen, who is on pole. The Red Bulls, they've got 2 very quick drivers, whereas we've got Lando, who is battling them on his own. Let's just fast forward, get it to the classifications, and have a rundown of what the grid will look like on Sunday. So we've got Verstappen from Leclerc, Norris in P3, Kevin Magnussen in that Audi again, totally outperforming Alexander Albon. What a driver Kevin Magnussen is, as we know in real life, but he's doing really well in this Audi. Danny Ricciardo again in the McLaren. Sainz. It's such an interesting battle this year with all these cars. McLaren, Aston Martin, ourselves, Red Bull and Audi in there again. Gasly only in P9, so he's getting consistently beat by Carlos Sainz. Will he be regretting not coming to Ferrari? Let's have a look at the strategies for Sunday. Right then, we are going to split the strategies. Again, we're managing 2 very different races here. So Lando Norris is going to be on the 1-stop. That's probably the standard strategy, on medium onto hards. I think that will work, and because he's at the front, we can probably save his tyres a little bit as well. Just latch onto the Red Bulls and save his tyres. That's the plan with Lando. Mick Schumacher's going to be on a different strategy. He's going to be on the 2-stop. We were considering using the softs, but I might save them just in case. Medium hard, medium is mixed strategy. Apparently it's 9 seconds quicker than the one stop. I'll be interested to see if it is. But Lando, we can change if we need to. We may cover off the Red Bulls. But Lando, I'm pretty happy with that strategy. He's just got to manage his tyres effectively. So that's it then. P3, P11, 5 red lights coming right up.
Get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we are going to ride on board with that man, Lando Norris, who looks like he's had an excellent start against Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc will have the inside line for turn 1, but Lando Norris is up into P2 straight away, and he's going to be looking at the back of Max Verstappen. Mick Schumacher as well, also gaining a place. We'll get the replay of this, my word. Highlights straight away, Schumacher. We were electric off the start on both cars. And Mick Schumacher, we're not going to quite get the view of it. He pulled into the middle. It was quite a brave move, to be fair. And he got himself between the Lotus Renault and Aston Martin. And then it must be said, he did bottle it a little bit, or did he pull out? You guys can make your judgment on that. I'm a little bit disappointed, and it has meant that he will catch up to Gasly, I'm sure. We might just actually have to tell him to use a bit of VRS to catch up to the Gas man. But Lando Norris, it's a great start from him. Straight away, we're going to go on to light tyres with Lando. Meanwhile, Schumacher absolutely going for it. Lap 1, Lando Norris looking very, very promising here. Max Verstappen being quick, but as we know, there's not much between the Red Bulls and the Ferraris. I mean, there's a stroke of luck here for Mick Schumacher. We've turned on just as we've got the notification. We've had a crash. And let's have a little look at this. It looked like the two cars that were battling in front of Mick Schumacher, it were. It's Pierre Gasly. And he just locks up and takes out the Lotus Renault. I believe that may be Esteban Ocon. Let's have a look who that actually was. If we're going to get a replay, I believe it was Ocon, it was. So Ocon and Gasly are very much at the back, and Mick Schumacher has gained 2 positions on the back of that. The cameras are having a bit of fun. We've got a virtual safety car, which we're going to ignore. But back to the live pictures, if I can get the cameras sorted out. I'm amazed that Esteban Ocon didn't come in there, if I'm honest. But him and Gasly now very much at the back, and we have got a VSC where we can conserve some tyres on lap 2. Let's go, Lando. On the restart of the VSC, he absolutely nailed Max Verstappen, caught him napping, and Lando Norris, who remember, he's on light tyre saving mode here, just drove past the current world champion, no problem at all. DRS open. Lovely work from Lando Norris, and we enjoyed that in the Ferrari garage. I've got to say, we enjoyed that here on the Ferrari pit wall as well. Mick Schumacher's got a little bit of a problem. He's now, because of that VSC and the timing of it, he's now being stuck behind Valtteri Bottas. There's a big gap between him and Carlos Sainz in 7th, and Bottas. Bottas has just overtaken him, which is a little bit disappointing. But remember, we are on the 2-stop with Mick. We may be able to catch that gap up if we manage to get him out in clean air on fresh tyres. But lap 4, Lando Norris is leading the Australian Grand Prix. Oh dear, Kevin Magnussen. We were waxing lyrical about him in the intro. He's locked up. He's gone off in that Audi. Very, very disappointing, but what it does do, Mick Schumacher's having a bit of luck today. Mick Schumacher is now up to P7 while driving this train of cars behind him. Meanwhile, Lando Norris, he's just dropped down to P3. Remember, we are saving these tyres, so I'm not too worried about this. And it's the DRS that is insanely powerful around here. If we just have a look from Lando's point of view here, the car in front on the start-finish straight tends to get caught pretty easily by the 2 cars behind. And if we look at it here, Leclerc's battling Verstappen. Verstappen pretty powerless, although he's defended quite well on here. But this DRS, he's just letting Lando tag along. And I imagine if we look at the tyres, he's keeping his tyres nice and fresh, and hopefully this will aid us towards the end of the Grand Prix. Bottas has just overtaken Schumacher. Again, I'm not too upset about this. Valtteri Bottas is doing well, and I've got to say I do like that DHL Mercedes livery. I think it looks great. But Mick Schumacher didn't fight it too much, and to be fair, I don't think he could with the DRS that Bottas has got. So both cars at the moment doing okay. 3rd and 8th. Lando Norris playing the long game. Mick Schumacher, we're going to be getting aggressive in a bit. We've got a competitor locked up, as Marcos is telling us. Let's have a look. Are we going to get to see who that were? I'm looking at the timing screens on the left.
Tsunoda.
And it's Sonoda. It's Sonoda at the back. It's not really going to affect us. We might as well have a look at it because we've not seen the Williams much this season. But Yuki Tsunoda, they had a crash in the last race in Jeddah and locking up again. And to be fair, he's done well this time to avoid his teammate. Lap 7. Looking okay. There's been quite a few battles at the front and these three just keep exchanging places, but again DRS is absolutely king and Lando Norris manages to get past Max Verstappen into turn 1. Verstappen does fight it, but then Lando gets the DRS again down the following straight and manages to maintain P1. Meanwhile, what's happening with Mick Schumacher? He's now up into P7. Remember, he's on this 2-stop. He's 6 seconds behind these cars in front, but if the timings and the strategists arrive, we are going to be 9 seconds quicker on Mick's strategy. The only thing we're contemplating at the moment is possibly going on to mediums and then hards. But at this moment, he's battling his old mentor, Sebastian Vettel, who's giving him a little bit of a shove there. But getting DRS down this straight might not be the worst thing in the world for Mick Schumacher as we come on to lap 12. Is he going to get DRS? I believe he should get DRS down this straight. He will. He's going to get a double helping of it here, where he's got boxed in behind Sebastian Vettel, who has covered him off pretty beautifully, to be fair. Fair play to Sebastian Vettel. Lap 12, it's 2nd and 8th for the Ferraris. Just a quick check back on lap 13. We are expecting any 2-stoppers to be coming in within the next 3 or 4 laps. Schumacher's going to be in 3 laps time on lap 16. He's done okay, to be fair, on his first stint. I can't grumble too much at him. He's 7 seconds behind Sainz, and I reckon if we can get him out in clear air on fresh tyres, I'm hoping he can start. And we're going to use the ERS as well. Push on everything. It's going to be full attack mode for Mick Schumacher when he comes out of the pit. So I'm not pushing him too much at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Lando Norris just saving the tyres, but I'm wondering, are Red Bull going to split the strategies or are they both going to go for the 2-stop? It's going to be very, very interesting to see. But Lando Norris, I think, could win this Grand Prix. Can he make it 3 wins from 3 for us as team principal and himself? And that bike marker has got so much in the way, it's ridiculous. And it's still in the way. What is this Lotus Renault doing? To be fair, it's now held up Charles Leclerc. We are going to get DRS, but we are going to have to use ERS as well down this start-finish straight and the next straight to try and catch up with Max Verstappen. But that Lotus Renault there, I'm guessing that was Esteban Ocon, did us absolutely no favours whatsoever. I'm hoping it may hold up the next pack along as well. As we have a look, Norris now with DRS has managed to get back in the DRS of Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc, however, not so lucky. 1.8 seconds now, the gap from Norris to Leclerc. So Ocon having a significant effect on this race. But I would be absolutely fuming if Pierre Gasly gets caught. Used to saying Pierre Gasly, if Mick Schumacher gets caught up in this as well. Let's just have a look. Is Ocon still causing bother? He isn't. He's out of the way. Lap 14. Right, we have got some 2-stoppers in. Bottas is in. Leclerc is in. Maybe that incident with Esteban Ocon has meant that he's had to do something a little bit different here. And he's now going to come out in P10. This gaggle of cars behind him, he's out into clean air, so it's gone very, very well for him. But Mick Schumacher will be in this next lap. But Leclerc pitting early. He's now on the 2-stop, as well as Bottas and KMI. Next lap for Mick Schumacher. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mick Schumacher is in for his pit stop. This is going to be absolutely key. I reckon he's going to come out possibly behind Kevin Magnussen. He's going onto the hard compounded tyre. We have stuck with medium, hard, medium. Let's have a look what Mick can do. Well, we're going to get a good stop from the team. 2.4 seconds. Currently at P10. Let's keep an eye on where Kevin Magnussen is. He's coming around the final corner now, Kevin Magnussen. Where is Mick Schumacher going to come out? He's going to come out far in front of them. Nicholas Latifi's coming down. Is he going to get out in front of this gaggle of cars? Mick Schumacher, can he get out in front of him? He can't. He's down to P14. But now it is absolute hammer time for Mick Schumacher. We're pushing on the fuel, we're pushing on the tyres, and we're using DRS. This is where he's got to make up the time. Mick Schumacher, it's all on you, my friend. Lando Norris has got a fair few more laps yet, but he's currently holding fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I've got to say, we didn't get Pierre Gasly in pre-season, and I were a little bit disappointed with that. We've got Lando Norris, but my word, Lando Norris is making this look so easy. He's on light tyre saving, but I bet if we compare to Max Verstappen, 4% better tyres, he can go on a couple of extra laps, Lando Norris, and he's going to have the fresher tyres towards the end. But my word, Lando Norris is just absolutely a pleasure to manage. Lap 17. You check back with us, lap 23. Sainz is in, Albon's in, Perez is in. Max Verstappen is staying out, as is Lando Norris. Remember, we're on light tyre saving mode. We're quite happy with this at this moment in time. The key is, when is Max Verstappen going to pit? And I think we're just going to go a lap longer, use the ERS a little bit, and try and really catch Max Verstappen out here. It makes sense to do that. We've got that tyre advantage. Norris is now currently in front as well, so that's looking good. Mick Schumacher playing an absolute blinder, by the way. Got past 4 cars beautifully. We didn't get to see the replays, unfortunately. But Mick Schumacher now, he's got cars in front of him. These have all pit now. Vettel is what? Let's have a look at Vettel. 16 plays, 31, 15 seconds. I believe Vettel's going to come out behind Mick Schumacher. He's going to be net P8, but obviously he's got another pit stop to make as well. But it's all on now at Norris and Verstappen. Who's going to pull the trigger first? And then it's basically, we're going to go a lap after, switch it to standard, push on the fuel, push on the DRS, and try and gain a gap as Norris covers him off there. Will Max Verstappen come in here? Let's have a little look. Verstappen is in. Verstappen's in to the pitch. Right, we're going aggressive. ERS, everything this lap for Lando Norris. Let's see what we can do here. This is very, very important. We're going to keep an eye on where Max Verstappen comes out. He's onto the hard compounded tyre. Is he going to come out in traffic? This is a key moment in this race for Max Verstappen. We're looking at cars coming down the main straight. Charles Leclerc, his teammates there. He's got George Russell in front of him. Vettel, Verstappen coming out of the pits. Comes out in a nice gap, to be fair to him. That's not the end of the world for Max Verstappen, and obviously these guys have all got to pit again. But Lando Norris is in this lap.
Confirmed.
Lando is in. Lap 24. We've gone a lap longer. Hopefully that will serve as well towards the end of this race. Of course, we've got a long way to go in this. Only on lap 24. Right, we need a decent pit stop here. 2.4 seconds. Very, very important. Right, who's coming down? All eyes are on Max Verstappen, who's now just coming onto the start-finish straight. Norris coming out of the pit lane. Leclerc coming down as well. Is Lando Norris going to get out in front of Charles Leclerc? This could be absolutely key. There's a gaggle of cars here. Lando Norris comes out in P3, covers off George Russell. And he's 8 tenths back from Sebastian Vettel. That's not gone too badly at all for Lando Norris. And obviously Verstappen's now got a car between himself and the Ferrari of Norris, as long as Norris can hold off George Russell, which he's managed to do. So Lando Norris, great work from him there, and now he's really got to push on a little bit and just try and catch up to Sebastian Vettel, but I'm sure he will do that, no problem at all. Lap 25, I think that pit stop's gone very, very well. Lap 26, this is becoming the Lando Norris show. It's been a fantastic Grand Prix for Lando so far, but let's just have a quick look at this, because he had a very difficult situation. He had to overtake Gasly, who were getting in the way, but then he managed to get past Sebastian Vettel beautifully. We got the DRS off of Charles Leclerc, who's in front, and we've once again put a car between ourselves and Max Verstappen. If we have a little look now, Lando Norris has got the DRS and he's now catching up to Charles Leclerc, no problem at all. Remember, Vettel and Leclerc have got to pit again. So now Lando Norris, it's time to just go light on the tyres and again, just see this through. If we can see this through, we'll go be light on the tyres and get through towards the end of this Grand Prix, and we should have a decent tyre advantage towards the end. In other news, Mick Schumacher in P9. He's currently in a bit of a world of his own at this moment in time. We are just going to harvest a little bit of ERS as well, but I'm wary of Bottas behind. We have got to pit again. The full rundown is Leclerc, Norris, Vettel, Verstappen, Russell, Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez, Schumacher and Bottas. If we have a look, Vettel, Russell, Ricciardo, Schumacher and Bottas and Magnussen all got to pit again in the top 10. So there's a lot to pit again. But we're just a bit cautious. We want to get some ERS saved up because we are hoping Mick Schumacher is going to be very, very quick towards the end of this Grand Prix. On lap 29, Lando Norris, we are trying to save a little bit of ERS, but Max Verstappen just dropped out of DRS range. I don't know if he's got DRS down this straight. He hasn't. Leclerc hasn't, but Lando Norris certainly has. And Max Verstappen lost DRS to the top two. It was absolutely crucial, that. Lando Norris now into P1 and he's charging the battery as well. I mean, it couldn't be going much better for Lando Norris at this moment in time. We'll have a little look at Lando Norris overtaking Charles Leclerc again down this start-finish straight, but that's worked an absolute treat for Lando, who's now back up into P1 and saving battery. It's not a bad life being Ferrari team principal, it must be said. Mick Schumacher has now been caught by Kevin Magnussen. Again, he's seeming to be struggling for pace. I'm not quite sure how we address this, and when you're braking like that into corners, I really don't know what to say. Pete Bonington must be upset. He's been used to managing Lewis Hamilton winning title. Now he's managing Mick Schumacher battling in P10. Not ideal at all, but we know how good Kevin Magnussen has been in that Audi. But Lando still in P1. Lap 32, it's back to as is. It's Verstappen and Lando Norris. Once again, we've left Leclerc for dust now. It's Verstappen versus Norris for the win here in Australia. Barring any safety cars, this is it. We're still light on the tyres. We know we're going to have a tyre advantage towards the end, which I'm hoping is going to pay dividends. We've got plenty of fuel, and it's just now for Lando, just to save a little bit of ERS as well, so we can really go for it on the last couple of laps. Mick Schumacher, not having the best time in the world. He's now in P10. Behind Valtteri Bottas, there's a big gap between Vettel and Russell, etc. But we are going on to the mediums at the end for Mick Schumacher. But Lando Norris still battling with Max Verstappen on lap 33. You join us back on lap 42, and as you can see, we're just having a look at Mick Schumacher. Verstappen and Norris are battling for the lead. It's down the start finish straight. We'll not show you that highlight. It's just been, I mean, the 12 seconds from Perez now. It's just one of two from those, so I'm sure we're going to focus on that battle towards the end of this Grand Prix. But Mick Schumacher is in, and I've got to say, Mick Schumacher is probably the calmest driver I've ever heard on the radio. He's so calm, it's ridiculous. But it's a decent start from Mick Schumacher. Where is Valtteri Bottas? He's coming down the start finish straight. Mick Schumacher, is he going to come out in P11 on fresh medium tyres? If he is, and I believe he is, we are going to get a decent shot at this, I think. And we're going to tell Mick Schumacher now, if he can stay in front of Bottas, which is very difficult, to push on the tyres towards the end. We know he can do this, and we're going to also deploy a little bit of ERS to see if we can get away from this following pack. But Mick Schumacher up to P11. He's got 14 seconds to Danny Ricciardo to get a point. Can he do it? Looking at everything, Vettel's not going to have to pit again. Danny Ricciardo's on fresh mediums. I don't think it's going to happen, people. But Mick Schumacher, he just hasn't got the pace of Lando. I'm sure the focus towards the end of this Grand Prix is all going to be on Lando Norris. Lap 42. Oh my word, this has just happened. Lando Norris has took out Max Verstappen. He's locked up and smashed Max Verstappen off of the track from what was looking like a guaranteed win. Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are both out of this Grand Prix. There's a safety car, and I believe we're going to get Mick Schumacher in for some soft compound tyres. That makes sense to do. We'll put in this lap. But Lando Norris, what on earth, my friend? We've been saying how brilliant you've been, and then to do that is just unbelievable. He's actually, could he come in? He's missed the pit lane. I didn't believe he was still going. So Lando Norris is going to go around now. He can probably come in for softs, but he's been caught by the safety car. And unbelievably, I believe we are going to lose this Grand Prix now. Schumacher's coming for softs. He's going to catch up to the rest. We possibly could have got Lando Norris in. Leclerc's in front as well. Well, he's not going to come in. But Lando's going to have to come in. Schumacher's going to come out in P12. He's going to be right on the back of the points. But Lando Norris just didn't get into the pit lane quick enough. We'll come back when we're back to green flag running. So here we are, lap 55. Leclerc's going to lead us away. Mick Schumacher is on fresh, soft compound tyres, as is Lando Norris. This is going to be absolute. This could be such a moment, this, for Mick Schumacher. All eyes are on Mick Schumacher now. This is his time. He's not been the star of the show, but now, hopefully, he will be. As straight away, he's looking at Valtteri Bottas. It's going to be absolutely crucial. 3 laps remaining. Mick Schumacher on soft compound tyres, pushing on the fuel, staying with Lando Norris. There's work to be done. As straight away Schumacher's trying to make moves left and right, but can't quite do it. Bottas covering him off. Can he manage to pick some points up here for the team? Lando Norris, I can't believe what happened there. Verstappen's out, Norris is out. Both championship contenders are out at this moment in time. Lando Norris has picked up a position off Logan Sargent, but Mick Schumacher now overtaking Valtteri Bottas, and then he's got Carlos Sainz in the Aston Martin. Cars we know all about in front of us now. Mick Schumacher, has he got the pace on these tyres to really make a dint in this? I believe he might do. We'll come back. Let's have a look at this. Bottas, first overtake done. Mick Schumacher, he's just got the grip on these tyres. And he's round one, he's up into P9. I'm sure it's not going to be long before he's on the back of Carlos Sainz. And straight away, he's once again looking left and right. Doesn't quite seem to have the racecraft to get round these cars. But will he have it down the start-finish straight? That's the absolute key to this. If we get DRS, there's every chance. With the car that we've got, he should be able to make moves. And we're going to ride on board with the young German using this overtake. And again, doesn't seem to be pulling out far enough. The Aston Martin in a straight line doing a great job of keeping Mick Schumacher behind. I was expecting a massive drive in this next couple of laps, but at the moment it's not looking like it. It's looking like P10 for Mick Schumacher. However, he's going to make the move now on Carlos Sainz. That's another one done into P9. Do you know what? We're just going to stick with this, I think. Up into P9 using the overtake. Next up is Guan Yu Zhou in the Lotus Renault. Can he manage to get past him pretty quickly? He's probably going to get DRS on the last lap. Lando Norris is making his way through the pack as well, it must be said. We've not really kept an eye on him. But he's now on the back of Zane Maloney. Sorry, not Sean Maloney. He's not the Wigan manager. He's on the back of Zane Maloney now. It is Lando Norris not making moves. Schumacher right up the gearbox of the Lotus Renault of Guan Yu Zhou. Again, can't quite make the move. Lap 57, one more racing lap for Mick Schumacher to gain position. Schumacher managing to overtake Guan Yu Zhou at probably the third or fourth time we're asking. He's just not quite had the racecraft to get past these cars. He's got past Guan Yu Zhou now though, and if we switch back to the live action, we've got about half a lap left to go, and Mick Schumacher is right up the back of George Russell. Is he going to manage down this straight to get past George Russell in the Mercedes? We're attacking on the tyres for both cars. He's going, and to be fair, George Russell covers that off pretty nicely, to be fair to him. We might as well go back to the television camera, because I believe it's going to be looking at Charles Leclerc coming round the final corner. Sometimes it's just your day, and it very much was Charles Leclerc's day today. Schumacher's going to come home in P8, I believe, unless he gets a run on somebody up to the line. He isn't going to manage to do that. Or is he? No, he isn't. It's P8 for Mick Schumacher, and unfortunately P11. Lando Norris managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here in Australia. Only one car finishing in the points, and that was Mick Schumacher. So there you have it. Disappointing Grand Prix in the end. It was all going so well. Charles Leclerc wins, Daniel Ricciardo P2 and Sergio Perez P3. What a day for the McLaren boys. Alexander Albon gaining 10 places in the Audi. Vettel P5, Magnussen P6, Russell 7th, Schumacher 8th, Sainz 9th and Bottas 10th. Zane Maloney finishing in P12 as well. Lando Norris down in P8. Driver standings wise, Charles Leclerc takes the lead of the driver's standings from Lando Norris. He's not going to be happy with that at all. Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo 3rd and 4th. McLaren looking very good indeed. Mick Schumacher down in P7. Constructor standings wise, Red Bull are now top. McLaren P2 and Ferrari, we dropped down to P3. Not a good race at all for us at Ferrari, in one that was looking so positive. I hope you've enjoyed that. Frustrating, I know, but we'll be back for the next one. I hope you have a great weekend. Please like and subscribe. See you later. Ta-ra.